Alright, Shalom. I'd like to say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Makal Kodesh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS, who are the true leaders of Israel today. And salutations to all of the Akim who do this work in truth and sincerity, who risk their lives and their freedom to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking like the heathen but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai. And the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as we're the ones who suffer under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. My name is Zechariah, and I'm a prophet sent from Yahweh Shemishai to let you all know of the things that are to come, to let you all know of the prophecies of the Lord, the judgments of the Lord, and the mercies of our power. And the prophecies that we have to look forward to that are coming are the mark of the beast prophecy, which is the mark chip. You have the prophecy of Jacob's trouble, which is a time like never before upon us as a nation, the nation of Israel. You have with Jacob's trouble coming the judgment behind it. Judgment by way of the plague, the sword, the pestilence, the famine, spirits that are created for vengeance. All kinds of judgments is going to be going out in all types of different ways. You have the prophecy of World War III, which is building up day in, day out. You have the prophecy of the destruction of America, which is Babylon the Great, which also, actually what happens before the destruction of America is the salvation of the elect of the nation of Israel. Salvation is only for the nation of Israel, and of the nation of Israel only a remnant will be saved, which is the elect of the nation of Israel. You have as well other prophecies such as the persecution of the prophets, which we know that is coming up. You know, some of us are going to be beheaded, some of us are going to be thrown into prison, but some of us will also be gifted with spiritual power. You also have the famine of the word prophecy, which this prophecy right now is quite hot, because there have been some very recent moves just this week where you can clearly see that this prophecy is coming into play. So, in Amos chapter 8 and verse 11, it says, "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord Yahweh." So there is in fact going to be famine, and famine comes by way of the lack of food and the lack of water. That's a part of the judgment. But the Lord is saying here, listen, there's going to be a famine coming, but it's not going to be that of the land, nor for a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord Yahweh, which is talking about this truth. This truth. Alright? The true truth that is being dispersed, starting with the elder apostle Tahar of Great Millstone and all of those that follow. Right? That is where the full truth is at, man. And this truth is going to be taken away from your people in due time. It is a part of Bible prophecy. And right now, there are two methods in which the truth is being dispersed to the world. One method is by way of the highways and byways, literally what I'm doing right now, as it is commanded to us by our Lord Yahushai that we must go out into the highways and byways. Okay? So that's why we're out here. It is a commandment from Yahweh Shemishai that we must do this. So you see many of the prophets out in the highways and byways prophesying this truth, prophesying the doctrine, let you all know of the things that are to come, and also to let you know what needs to be done, but also that if you don't do it, what the repercussions are going to be. We also inform the heathen of their judgment. Well, they're nothing but side characters in this story. But they must know their judgment for the things that they've done to our people. Alright, so the truth is out there, and the elite of Esau Edom and Esau Edom are these so-called white people. They are the Edomites, and their forefathers Esau. But they have a ruling class, which is the elite, the wicked elite of Esau Edom. They're deemed as the wicked because the Edomites are the wicked. And they are the elite. They're the ruling class of the Edomites, the elite bankers. Every single nation that is in rulership, the entire nation is a part of that kingdom, right? It is their kingdom. So this is the kingdom of the so-called white man, the kingdom of the Edomites. But for all of these kingdoms, there is a ruling class. The same way how in the kingdom of heaven, there's going to be a ruling class. Yahweh Shai, then King David, then the 12 apostles, then the 144,000, etc. All right, there's always an order to things. So there is a ruling class for the Edomites, and they're the ones that are pulling all of the strings behind closed doors, behind the shadows. They do not show themselves to be the faces of the various things, but the Lord has exposed them for who and what they are, and has exposed them to being that elite. All right, they have an agenda at hand, which is their New World Order agenda, and at the forefront of that agenda is the mark of the beast, which is the microchip. So every single thing that they're doing right now is to push towards the launch of the microchip, which is going to be the prophecy of the mark of the beast. So for now, the word is going out to the four corners of the earth, as well by way of the internet. This word is being spread by way of the social media, specifically the YouTube, right? That is the main method. And it has gone out to the four corners of the earth, and the elect has woken up by way of this internet. And the internet, as it says in the scriptures, in the book of Psalms, chapter 19 and verse 4, it says, their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun. So Yahweh has set them up, them who? The Lord's prophets, to disperse the word of Yahweh Shemeshai, man. And their line is gone out through all the earth. That line is by way of that internet. This is the very powerful tool that has done the heavy lifting regarding dispersing this word to the four corners of the earth. The apostles did not have to travel continent to continent, country to country, city to city, town to town to disperse this word, man. The internet, they put the videos on the internet via the YouTube, and because of the way that the internet works and technology works regarding it, anyone with internet access can simply go to YouTube and access it. And people have woken up from it, man, from the four corners of the earth. Myself, I woke up via social media, by way of Instagram. You know, it was a journey of encountering different kinds of doctrines through the algorithm, which happened in the strangest way, because based off of, you know, the people I was following, there's no way that the algorithm, when it came into play, when Instagram introduced it, there's no way, you know, that the algorithm would show it. But the Lord, you know, guided me and allowed the algorithm to show me certain things, and I encountered different doctrines along the way, but none of them stuck, right? And then I simply encountered a brother's page, a brother in Great Millstone, And the brother, he's still teaching, all right? And I saw his page and I simply saw, you know, the images. And I simply believed. You know, that's all it took. I simply believed. There wasn't any convincing or anything like that. I just believed by seeing the images, right? And believing that the Israelites are, you know, us. Believing the mark of the beast is a microchip. Believing America is Babylon the Great. And it's not just me. It is many other individuals who have woken up around the four corners of the earth. I remember when I had an Instagram that I was using to, you know, share this truth. And the interesting thing about it is that the people that were liking the posts were individuals all around the world, from Russia to Japan and America, Europe, all of these different places around the world. They were liking my posts, you know, but they were doing it kind of in stealth because they were liking the posts, but they wouldn't follow, but they liked the posts, which means that they would intentionally search out the page and go to the page and then search and look for the word. And this is people from all around the four corners. I literally witnessed it. All right? And then these people as well, they didn't look like the Negroes, Latinos, or Native Americans. They came looking like the heathen. But our people come looking like the heathen right now. All right? And our people, there will be people that will be delivered looking like the heathen, but they're actually Israelites by way of their forefathers' seed. So this internet has been a very powerful tool, man. All right? And some of these celebrities as well, they know what's up. They know what it is. You know? I remember this individual, a woman, her page was private. A white-looking woman, her page was private, and she was a part of this, like this dance team. One of those dance teams for like one of those sports teams in America. I think it was maybe either for baseball or football. And she was a very frequent visitor, that white-looking woman, man. Right? She was a very frequent visitor, I remember. You know? But only an Israelite can believe, as this word is only for the nation of Israel. But yeah, man, people are out there. And even though they're not, you know, not everyone is a prophet, right? Firstly, only men are prophets. But you'll have some men that simply believe. Not everyone will be going out on the highways and byways. You know, the elect of the nation of Israel will consist of men, women, and children that simply believe. Okay? So you have many out there that believe and they watch these videos. And Esau knows about it. You know, Yahweh Shemishai gave him the technology of the internet, but they have control of it, right? The Lord gave them that control, so they're able to watch, and they know by way of their systems who is watching what and from what location and everything, because there's no actual privacy on the internet. They can track your IP, right? And that's been there forever. Every single internet address has an IP, and they can simply track your IP. So there's no anonymity. Okay? Even though there is some kind of anonymity where there are people that are able to sign up for things and be anonymous, there's no actual true anonymity though. They know who you are and what you're viewing, what you're watching, all of these kinds of things. All right, so they have taken note of those who are watching, and I'm sure it's a very decent number of individuals, man, who are watching this word and who believe. You know, in Deuteronomy chapter 33 and verse 17, it says, "His glory is like the firstling of his bullock, and his horns are like the horns of unicorns." Right, and the unicorn is that internet. With them he shall push the people together to the ends of the earth. Right, push the people together from the ends of the earth. Right, from the four corners of the earth, the people are brought together by way of this word being put on the internet via these social media. And they are the 10,000s of Ephraim, and they are the thousands of Manasseh. So it is bringing the Israelites right together, specifically the elect of the nation of Israel, right? Waking up the nation of the elect. Okay, and this internet has done this. So now, knowing the prophecy of the famine of the word, where the Lord will take away this word, and being a watchman of Yahweh Shemishai, it is our duty to constantly watch what is going on, look at current events and current news and relate it to Bible prophecy, and then say, look, these things are happening, and it is happening because of Bible prophecy, right? So right now, there is a very big move towards censorship and taking away freedom of speech, or reducing it very greatly, which even the idea of freedom of speech, has it really been that? Because in this world, technically, you have always had to really be able to openly speak about things that those that are in rulership deem that you can speak about, you know? So there is actually no real freedom of speech. It's all an illusion. And even the whole mantra of do as thou wilt, that is not a true, as the saying goes. You know what I'm saying? It has always been a standard set by those that are in rulership, and they tell you, you're supposed to live this kind of way, you're supposed to commit these kinds of acts, you're supposed to speak in this type of way, your speech is supposed to be directed in this type of way. All right, but the Spirit of Yahweh Shemishai has, you know, chosen differently and has allowed this word to go out, which is against wickedness, which this is what this society is. So the word of Yahweh Shemishai is against Esau and his kingdom and his system. And they don't like that at all. They hate it with a great passion. Okay? And they've had to tolerate it. They've had to tolerate it for decades. These Israelite men, the true Israelites, have suddenly woken up just out of the blue, you know what I'm saying? And suddenly understood the scriptures truthfully and are breaking it down truthfully and are telling them that their kingdom is going to come to an end, that their main hub, which is America, is going to be destroyed by thermonuclear fire, that they're going to go into slavery for 1,000 years once Yahushua returns and sets up the kingdom of heaven, which is the kingdom of the Israelites. And then after the 1,000 years, they're going to be done away with as a nation. This is their judgment, and the curses are also going to fall upon them, as well as it says in Deuteronomy 30 verse 7, which the curses are starting to fall upon them right now. And they're going to be full-blown set upon them when the kingdom is established and they're in captivity, or they're slaves to the Israelites. This is what the scriptures talk about, the downfall of Esau. And of course they're going to hate it. Anybody would hate it, right? You're in rulership and you have these random men that you despise, that you work so hard to hide the truth from the world about who these set of people really are, and you put out a great level of deception into the world. You even changed the history, you changed the images as well into your own likeness, as it says in the book of Maccabees. Let me get it. First Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 48, and laid open the book of the law wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. They made a perverse doctrine of the Bible based off of lies, talking about there's a hell, talking about all kinds of madness, changing the image, the look of the actual Israelites and the deliverer, who is Yahweh Shai, changing his image, right? All of these kind of neglecting his name, neglecting the name of the Most High, whose name is Yahweh, hiding all of this stuff. And then suddenly, these men were woken up and are speaking the truth. And as the years have gone by, other individuals, other men, other prophets have risen up, and the multitude of them that believe has increased very greatly. And Esau has literally witnessed it, because you don't think that they don't have their agents watching very keenly the Israelites, especially those with the full and complete doctrine. Notice something regarding the set of Israelites who have the full and complete doctrine compared to those that say that know that they're Israelites but are dispersing false doctrine. Who are the individuals that are constantly shadow banned? Who are the individuals whose videos, will have likes on them yet have no views? Who are the individuals whose channels are constantly being targeted and being taken down? It shows you where the truth really lies. All right? But Esau wants to get rid of it. The scriptures say that great fear fell upon them. Revelation chapter 11 and verse 11. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from Yahweh Shemishai entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. Right? So great fear fell upon them which saw them, the wicked elite of Esau Edom, because the Edomites worked so hard and worked so diligently to hide who the true Israelites are, and they even decided to steal our heritage and to claim that they're the Israelites. This is a part of their deception. But these men were just suddenly raised up, and great fear fell upon them, because that in that moment it showed the power of Yahweh Shemishai, that no matter what it is that Esau does, he's not the one in control. It is Yahweh Shemishai that is in full and absolute control. So, regarding this famine of the word, and regarding what I've said, there are some individuals that may wonder and say, well, why haven't they gotten rid of it for all of these years that it's been about? And the answer is simple. In Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3, it says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time," which is talking about these prophecies. So these prophecies are yet for an appointed time. So they're set to happen at a specific point in time. This is how Yahweh Shemishai has set it up. "But at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry. Wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." So that's your answer right there. The prophecies are set at a specific time to occur, and it says at the end it shall speak. So these prophecies are going to start speaking at the end. These end game prophecies are going to be happening at the end. So given everything that's happening right now, the development of these prophecies, knowing and understanding their full and correct breakdown, we are in fact in the end. So they're going to start coming to pass. And that is why we're seeing this very big push towards censorship and taking away of free speech. Okay? Now, you have some major things that have occurred, but firstly, I'll speak on it before this week. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the rulers of this wicked kingdom today, they've been working on this. It didn't just happen this week, where this week is just a week where they started to make a major push towards it. But it's been in the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? They've been talking about taking some very strict measures on the internet, because they've been talking about how the internet has become this place where misinformation is being spread, right? But the situation at hand is this. Esau, and yes, there is misinformation spread on social media, of course, but social media also disperses truth. And I'm not just talking about the truth of the scriptures, right? I'm talking about truth in general, because Esau is in control, right? In Job chapter 9 and verse 24, it says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof, if not, wherein who is he? So this is Esau's blessing, the fatness of the earth, the dew of heaven, and by the sword he will rule. So the Lord gave him full and complete rulership. The Lord is in control, and then he gave Esau rulership. So they control this world, man. This is their world right now. Okay? And a part of the deception and the wicked influence of the wicked elite of Esau, Edom, is by way of their media, the television show, the movies, the newspapers, the magazines, anything that you can think of. They're in control of all of those things, and they set the narrative of it all. Okay? They set the narrative. They teach you how to think. They teach you what to believe in. They teach you how to live. They do it all by way of their media. And then they also share all kinds of different news, like the news and stuff. But what has been happening by way of the social media via YouTube, Twitter, which is now X, Facebook, Instagram, whatever else, is that technology right now is at a point where it is completely ingrained in society. Everybody has some form of technology that they use because it's ingrained in society. It's a necessary part of society in order to be a part of it, right? So everybody has a phone or some kind of digital device that is able to record. So what has been happening in these, especially these recent years, is that Esau has been setting certain narratives regarding certain events that have been occurring, and what has been happening is that he's been selling a narrative to the people, but people have been there. And so, because everyone is so connected and obsessed with social media, what they do is that they're there to witness it, and they take a video of it, they take pictures of it, and then they say, listen, look, they're saying this on CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, BBC, whatever other platform, but I was there and recorded this, and this is what actually happened. And this has been a recurring trend of all of these different events that have been happening. Esau is being exposed. So then people in the world are saying, wait a second, they don't trust the mainstream media anymore, because the social media of people being out there literally witnessing what is actually going on and then sharing it on social media, that has been spreading. That is a hit on the wicked elites of Esau, Edom, and their power structure, right, regarding their deception, right, because they are losing power regarding showing a certain narrative and showing a certain level of deception. So that is a part of the reason why they want to get rid of the social media. Okay? And then their main reason, of course, is because they want to do away with the prophets of Yahweh Shemishai regarding this word. Alright? So they're going to target the social media, and they're going to target the internet in a specific kind of way. They've spoken about this in Europe, They've spoken about it in the state of Israel. They've spoken about it in Australia. Taking stricter measures towards social media. And now America is making the push. So that's huge, because America is Mystery Babylon the Great. When certain things are happening in America, you really know that we're approaching that time. All right? So it says in 2 Ezra chapter 6 and verse 27, for evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish, corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which hath been so long without fruit shall be declared. And the truth has been declared. And the truth being declared is putting out evil and quenching deceit. Because you have people that are no longer deceived by what Esau is putting out there, which is really the elect of the nation of Israel. All right? Waking up. As for faith, it shall flourish, and faith has been increasing as time is going on. You know, the prophet's been speaking about these things for decades, and now we're in that point in time where these things are showing, the prophecies are showing. It's so clear. This year, the hottest year, every day it feels like something new is popping off. The time is hot. You know what I'm saying? And these things increase, you know, those who believes faith. It shall flourish, corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which hath been so long without fruit shall be declared. And it's being declared, man, and they don't want it going out anymore. So all of these movements that they're making towards censorship and, you know, taking away of free speech and, you know, putting stricter measures on the internet and getting rid of internet anonymity, which they've also spoken about, because the World Economic Forum spoke about the internet and social media, and they're talking about how they want to get rid of internet anonymity because they want people to be responsible for, you know, information that they put out there. Spoke about how they want to tie your internet identity to your digital ID, which the digital ID is a part of the system, a stepping stone of consolidating all of your information into one place, and then eventually that digital ID, which will already have included your biometric information, all of your personal information, your medical information, your government information, your phone information, your internet information, your social media information, your financial information, all these things tied into one place. It will eventually, when the mark of the beast prophecy starts to come to pass, they'll simply just transfer that onto the microchip, and the microchip is that all for use. This is what is at hand. All right? So they're making their moves. But as the devil is, the devil does. So when he makes his moves, he's not just going to declare, oh, that they're doing this because they want to stop these men who are declaring these things on the highways and byways and via the internet, via the YouTube. They're going to do it in a different kind of subtle way. So they're making their move right now, and they decided that they decided to target Jimmy Kimmel. Now, you have this entire situation with Charlie Kirk, and they're using the passing of Kirk as a way, from what I'm observing, to bring about certain things. And one of the things I'm observing is this censorship, right? Now, we must remember the wicked elite of Esau, Edom, and their mottos. Their main motto, or one of them, is order out of chaos, order at kill. which means that they intentionally bring about chaos and chaotic situations, and then they establish an order from it. And they're the ones that do it. They set up certain events, certain crises, and then they provide a solution to it, which is always to their benefit. It's always intentional. Speaking of a crisis, another thing that they believe in is never let a good crisis go to waste. So when it is that there are certain things, critical things that happen, they don't let it go to waste, man. And this whole Charlie Kirk passing, they're making certain moves regarding those who speak about his passing or speak about it in a certain type of way. They targeted Jimmy Kimmel, who Jimmy Kimmel is a very prominent and influential person in the celebrity landscape, right? An extremely popular television show and a very popular person in this world. They decided to suspend him due to some comments that he made regarding the Kirk passing situation. US TV host backed Jimmy Kimmel and lampooned Donald Trump in free roll speech. ABC hopes to bring Jimmy Kimmel back, but temperature needs to be taken down. Right? They said what happened behind the scenes that led to Jimmy Kimmel. And this is all on BBC, CNN, CBS News, the New York Times. The fallout grows after Jimmy Kimmel taken off air. So this is creating also dissension. So there are many things at play with things that are going on, but all of these things are bringing about chaotic situations, tensions, and dissension among the people. And this is all intentionally manufactured by the wicked elite of Esau Edom. So fallout grows after Jimmy Kimmel taken off air. Ted Cruz criticizes Trump-appointed FCC chair for urging action on Jimmy Kimmel. Senator Ted Cruz says U.S. broadcast regular acted like mafioso on Jimmy Kimmel. New York Times, opinion, Jimmy Kimmel and the rise of corporate censorship. And then from this, the social media has been talking about this whole censorship thing. Okay? You have protesters rally in support of Jimmy Kimmel 3 hours ago from the USA Today, actually. That was probably yesterday. But then, the protest for this Jimmy Kimmel situation is an uproar of the people around the world, right? And the scriptures say in 2 Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1, it says to measure the time diligently. And that when you see some of the signs passed, then you will know that we're at the end. And it mentions in 2 Ezra chapter 9, 2 things that we'll see. Uproars of the people around the world and earthquakes. So these constant protests is a sign of the end. All right? So you have Jimmy Kimmel, and then yesterday, right, I was watching a streamer called Miskiff, and literally while he was live during the stream, he suddenly got banned. Then, you know, you had observing, you know, I did a video on it last night, okay? And then the reason came out as the reason why Miskiff got banned is because of his comments regarding the Kirks passing away, okay? But then the interesting part about it is this. When I saw the actual video of what this, and this is a very extremely popular streamer on Twitch, by the way, right? He's very popular, he's very influential, all right? And when I saw the video, all he said was that Kirk, because somebody asked him in his stream, what do you think of Kirk's passing away? And he said, well, he's passed away. He's not here anymore. You know, he's dead. And that's all he said based off of the clip that I saw. So, you know, they're not banning just for, you know, certain kinds of very aggressive statements. They're just banning for speaking about it. You know what I'm saying? And then, observing the situation further, more information came out that actually various different streamers on Twitch received bans for talking about Kirk's passing away. And then the question is, why all of a sudden? Why him? Why this specific situation? The reason why is because Esau is making his move to bring about the famine of the word prophecy. And he's using this Kirk situation, a crisis of sorts, to bring about an order from it. Okay, and their order is bringing about censorship to the internet and social media. Then other information came out, which this one is very interesting, and this one really shows you where social media censorship is going. So then I found out that apparently the CEOs of various different social media platforms are being brought to the committee in America. So this is from the oversight.house.gov, which is a government website published on September 17th, 2025, the press release. Chairman Comer invites CEOs of Discord, Steam, Twitch, and Reddit to testify on radicalization of online forum users. So these are all various different forms of social media. Okay? So it says Washington today, House Oversight and Government Reform Committee Chairman James Comer invited the chief executive officers of Discord, Steam, Twitch, and Reddit to testify at a full committee hearing on October 8th, 2025. So today's date is September 20th, 2025. So that's in about 2 weeks. The CEOs of these various different social media platforms have to show up in front of the committee. Why? Because they're saying the hearing will examine the radicalization of online forum users, including instances of open incitement to commit politically motivated acts. So what they're saying, my understanding is that they're saying that the social media, because of the lack of restrictions on it, where users are able to exercise their quote-unquote free speech on these various different social media platforms, that they're bringing them in to basically stop this. This is how I'm seeing it, man. To read it again, the hearing will examine the radicalization of online forum users, including instances of open incitement to commit politically motivated acts. So basically, individuals on these various different social platforms speak about different situations and have different viewpoints, whether they are for it or against it. And Esau is saying, his reasoning is saying, is that there is a radicalization of the opinions where they're basically saying that it is like a hive mind, where there are people who are talking about certain things that really, for them, when what they're saying is that it's not fitting their narrative, and so they want to bring about certain measures where basically it's heading towards, unless you speak about what they are for very specifically and very narrowly, then if you speak against these things, then you are deemed as radicalizing individuals and doing incitement and committing politically motivated acts, right? So the system is heading towards where, unless you speak about what they specifically want you to talk about, then there's no dissension of opinion. It's just going to be living in one type of way, speaking about things in one type of manner. You see what I'm saying? Okay? So then it says, the politically motivated situation of Kirk claimed the life of a husband, father, and American patriot. In the wake of this tragedy, and amid other acts of politically motivated violence. Congress has a duty to oversee the online platforms that radicals have used to advance political violence. To prevent future radicalization and violence, the CEOs of Discord, Steam, Twitch, and Reddit must appear before the Oversight Committee and explain what actions they will take to ensure their platforms are not exploited for nefarious purposes, said Chairman Comer. So censorship is coming, period, on these various different social media platforms, which speaks to the famine of the word coming. Now notice this, they didn't mention YouTube, but YouTube has been doing very well at censoring certain things, though the truth is still out there on YouTube. So it's only a matter of time before they start taking our videos off of the YouTube, and they've been doing that already. You know what I'm saying? But they're going to be going full-blown force very soon. And you can see what's happening. Now, based off of this article, where the CEOs of Twitch, Discord, Steam, and Reddit have to appear and will have to start to, apply certain measures of censorship, that explains why the popular streamer was suddenly banned for making certain remarks about the Kirk situation, and then other streamers were banned as well for the same. They've already started making their move. You see what I'm saying? So the precedent is being set, okay? And knowing this, individuals should be on high alert, man, because this famine of the word really is coming, which means that the Lord is about to hide his face away from you Israelites, okay? Now, going back to it, Amos chapter 8 and verse 11, behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord Yahweh. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord Yahweh, and shall not find it. So this famine of the word and these prophecies are going to catch you people by storm. The elect of the nation of Israel will be fine, because the elect of the nation of Israel have been meditating on this day in, day out. The prophecies of Yahweh Shemishai, repentance, mercy, etc. But you people that are scoffers and scorners, right, against Yahweh Shemishai, against this truth, you people are going to be caught off guard and caught by storm, man. Okay? Because this famine of the word is going to kick in, and then suddenly you won't be able to find this truth on the internet as you've so had liberty to do now, right? The number of videos, the amount of information out there on the YouTube regarding this truth, it is literally impossible to consume it all. It's impossible. The amount of work that the prophets have done around the four corners of the earth, it's impossible to consume it all. That's how much of this word has been put out there. And you people have taken it for liberty, and the Lord is going to take it all away from you. And then, as it says, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord Yahweh, and shall not find it. And so what's going to happen is that, because right now it looks like, because we know it's going to happen, they're going to remove us off of the internet, and they're going to remove us off of the highways and byways. But right now it's looking like it's going to be that they're going to take us off of the internet soon, and then eventually certain things are going to happen where they take us off of the highways and byways. Okay? And I cannot forget when the brother brought out that an individual that he knows approached him, and the person had a dream, and they told him the dream that it was about the Elder Apostle Tahar, and that the Elder Apostle Tahar was doing a live stream, and he said that this will be his final live stream. And the brother spoke about this maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. And now look at what has started to escalate regarding this prophecy. You see what I'm saying? So it really is very close, man. And the final moments, the final warnings from Yahweh Shemishai are happening right now. Alright? And this is very serious. And you people, man, you're going to witness these prophecies start to come to pass. But the famine of the Lord is going to take away this word from you. And then you're going to be wandering to and fro, searching for it, but you won't be able to find it anywhere on the internet because they're going to scrub it from the internet completely. And then you're not going to be able to find these men on the highways and byways, and then you're going to start bugging out. But it will be too late by then. Right? It will be way too late by then. Alright, because now is the time to be repenting. Now is the time to return to our power, Yahweh Shemishai. Alright, the Lord is not dealing with the, oh, I'm going to get right the day before spirit. The Lord is dealing with those fervently in the spirit, hoping for mercy and salvation and repenting and fighting this war of the spirit versus the flesh personally. You know what I'm saying? Alright? So they shall wander to and fro to seek the words of the Lord. And then it says, in Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 6, seek ye the Lord Yahweh while he may be found. And the Lord can be found right now, while this word is still out there. Because soon the gates of mercy, the doors of mercy are going to be shut. The ark is going to be shut. Right now it's a spiritual ark. It's not a physical ark. Right before the first death came, which the first death was by way of water, by way of the flood, there was a physical ark that was built by Noah. And the people, in the same spirit that they are in today, they scoff and scorn and said, oh, that's not going to happen. Same people here today, same spirit. Okay? And Noah was a prophet, man. And the prophets are here once again in the same spirit. Okay? And now, right now, there's another ark that's being built. It's a spiritual ark with far more Israelites in it this time. And it's a spiritual ark that is being built before the second death, which that second death is going to be by way of fire. That lake of fire spoken about in the book of Revelation, which is America being set on fire by way of the ICBM missiles. America is going to be destroyed by thermonuclear fire. So Yahweh Shemishai is constantly warning you Israelites about these things that are coming and to take heed, or else you will face the judgment. You will face the destruction. So seek ye the Lord Yahweh while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. And let him return unto the Lord Yahweh, and he will have mercy upon him, and to our power, for he will abundantly pardon. Okay? So, right now the Lord can be found. Call ye upon him while he is near, which is this moment right now. And it says, let the wicked forsake his way, talking about the Israelites here, because only an Israelite can forsake his wicked ways, right? Because repentance is only for the Israelites. And the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto the Lord Yahweh. And only an Israelite can return unto the Lord. Okay? Actually, let me just read it real quick. In the book of Psalms, in the book of Psalms 147 and verse 19, he sheweth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He hath not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord Yahweh. So it's all been about the Israelites from the very beginning to this point in time today, to the future and forevermore. It's all about the Israelites. All right. So going back to Isaiah 55 and verse 6, let the wicked forsake his way, and our righteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto the Lord Yahweh, and he will have mercy upon him, and to our power, for he will abundantly pardon. And so the Lord is extremely merciful, man. All right, the Lord is extremely merciful, because the situation could have been way different. The situation could have been that, well, out the gates, maybe you aren't maybe the Lord didn't make you an Israelite. That alone, you know, the privilege of being an Israelite, you know, the great privilege of just that, being an Israelite. The Lord created you and he made you an Israelite. Imagine that. The Lord could have created you and made you an Edomite or any of the other heathen, and to be in that kind of lot and that kind of stead. But just the fact of being an Israelite is such a great and immense privilege, and you people out there, you don't care. You really don't care. You take the Lord's mercies. You don't even take it seriously at all, man. You just don't care. You know, and the Lord is going to destroy you for that. You know? But we're Israelites, and then the Lord chose us as a nation, right? As it says in Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6, it says, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord Yahweh thy power. A holy people, a separate people. Why are we separate? Because we're the Lord's holy chosen people. We are under a different standard compared to the heathen. And we're under a holy standard, a separate standard, a righteous standard. Right? We are the Lord's holy chosen people. We are gods. We're kings, we're priests. We are the chosen ones. Unto the Lord Yahweh thy power, the Lord Yahweh thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So the Lord chose us compared to all of the other nations, and I believe there are 18 in total. We're one of them, so you have 17 other nations. You could have been any of those other 17 nations, man, that don't have the gift of everlasting rulership and happiness. The Lord Yahweh did not set his love upon you, nor choose you because ye were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people. But because the Lord Yahweh loved you, you see, the Lord loves us, right? The Lord loves us so much that the Lord has granted us an immense amount of mercy. But because the Lord loved you, and because he would keep the oath unto our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, unto Jacob, which he had sworn unto your fathers, and remember that oath is only for the Israelites, hath the Lord Yahweh brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, and from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, right? And we were delivered out of ancient Egypt, from ancient Pharaoh. At that time, they were the Africans, were the Hamites. Those were the ancient Egyptians. But now, right, the modern day Pharaoh is Esau, and the modern day Egypt is America. America's spiritually Sodom and Egypt. So the Lord is once again going to deliver us out of the hand, as right now we are bondmen, right, under Esau, we're slaves, we're in captivity under the Edomites, and the Lord is going to deliver us once again out of the hand of Pharaoh, and the king of Egypt, right? So mercy is upon us, and this mercy is very close. So going back to Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 7, let the wicked forsake his way, and the righteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto the Lord Yahweh, and he will have mercy upon him, and to our power, for he will abundantly pardon. Verse 11, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. So everything is going to come to pass that is written in the scriptures. It is sure to come. There's no doubt about it. The Lord is true to his word, and it's all going to come to pass, man. And we're very close. So knowing what is at hand, right? Knowing that the day of the Lord is at hand, you know, what manner of person ought you to be? Okay? Because great judgment is at hand. Jacob's trouble is at hand. Death by way of thermonuclear fire is at hand. And the mark of the beast, which is the market chip, is at hand. Okay? And the only way to be able to escape these things is to have faith in Yahweh Shemishai, is to believe. Alright? And those of us that do believe, we're of the hopeful elect. We hope to be saved. We don't know if we're going to be saved. We won't know until, you know, Yahushua returns, and then we see it, you know, but our hope is that we shall be saved. And then the thing about it is this as well, that, you know, there's a spirit that will show those of the elect and those of the non-elect. You know what I'm saying? It will show, okay? But here it is in 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 9. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long-suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. So this day is coming, man. The obliteration of Esau's kingdom. His lifestyle, the way that things are, the way that the earth is ran and everything. You know, there's a complete reset that is coming. The way how you see things right now, it's not going to be like in the kingdom. Because the kingdom of heaven, which is the kingdom of Yahweh Shemishai, which is the kingdom of the Israelites, is going to be governed by the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shemishai. Right now, this world, Esau's kingdom, is not governed by way of the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shemishai. It is governed by way of wickedness, right? Everything that is contrary to the ways of Yahweh Shemishai. So, the way of this world, the way how you see set up right now, is at the peak of wickedness. It won't be like this in the kingdom. It's going to be completely different. That we have to look forward to. Imagine how exciting that is when the world is functioning as it really should be functioning. When the true rulers are in rulership. When everything is in correct order. That's extremely exciting, man. This is what we have to look forward to. But before that, there's great hell to come to this earth that we must push through. So it says, the heavens which shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, and the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. You know, to speak further on that, you know, the scriptures say it. Let me get it. I want to read from verse 15. 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 15. For all things are for your sakes, that the abundant grace might through the thanksgiving of many redound to the glory of Yahweh Shemishai. For which cause we faint not, but though our outward man perish, right, this flesh, yet the inward man is renewed day by day, which is our spirit. And this is for the elect of the nation of Israel, right? The outward man perishes, okay, but the inward man, which is our spirit, our mind, our character, is renewed day in, day out. Our faith is built day in, day out by way of Yahweh Shemishai. Okay? For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. So those of us that are in this truth, you know, we catch hell, we go through all kinds of things. You know what I'm saying? We're in oftentimes very unfavorable positions. We're oftentimes in predicaments that are not great. We're oftentimes experiencing things that are very bizarre. You know what I'm saying? But for all of these things that we're experiencing and the hell that we're catching, the Lord tells us, man, that it is a light affliction. All right? And when you look at the grand scheme of things, it indeed is, as the scriptures say it is. All right? When you have to look at the greater picture of everything that is happening. And it's not about you. Okay? It's not about you. It is all about Yahweh Shemishai. So remember that, man. When it is that you're going through things, remember the fight at hand. Okay? It says, while we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen, for the things which are seen are temporal. So what are the things that we see right now? Esau's world, Esau's kingdom. It's temporary. Everything is temporary about it. The way that things are, the way how the cities are built, the way how the people act, the way how the world is governed, it's all temporary. It's all going to be destroyed and a reset is going to happen. But at the things which are not seen, for the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. The things which are not seen are eternal, right? And we cannot physically see the kingdom right now, but through the Spirit we know it's coming, right? We know that for sure. As a fact, through the Spirit the kingdom is coming. So, but the things which are not seen are eternal, and that which is which we cannot see, which is the kingdom, which is coming, which we believe in, right? It is going to be eternal. So it's going to be an eternal, perpetual, everlasting rulership and happiness for us. Imagine. I know all y'all go through all kinds of ailments and sicknesses. None of us are immune to it. We're all suffering under the curses. You know? Think about the days where even you suffer from a migraine headache. Think about what that feels like. You know what I'm saying? And the moments of being in it. You will never experience something like that again in the kingdom. There will be no death, no sickness. We're going to be eternal. Us too. Not just the kingdom, but us, the Israelites. We're going to live eternally. We will not experience death anymore. We will not experience sickness anymore. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have eternal, everlasting life. Unfathomable to you people, some of you people, but it is coming. We're going to be forever youthful. We won't age. We will be in the new bodies, which will enable us to follow the law, statutes, and commandments perfectly, which means that we won't go off, we won't sin, so we won't be subject to death. This is what is coming, man. This is the promise. And it is something so serious and so beautiful. But you people, you scoff and you scorn at it, so the Lord is going to destroy you for that, man. And rightfully so. Like, how dare you? You know what I'm saying? How dare you reject Yahweh Shemishai for all of the things that the Lord has done for you. And even right now, at this very moment, the Lord does so much for you. So much. but you reject Yahweh Shemishai, so the Lord going to destroy you, man. All right. And actually, I want to bring it out in 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 7. It says, and everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. So your faith is what will save you, right? You have to believe, and then your faith drives your actions, right? Which is your works. But it all starts with faith. Okay? So then it says, then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torment. For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me. So that's what I was talking about. You know, as an Israelite, yes, we're suffering under the curses, but the Lord still has had mercy upon us. Our situation can be way worse. You know what I'm saying? Like out here in Jamaica right now, I have, you know, there are madmen out in the streets that are around me. You know what I'm saying? Your situation could easily have been that. The same madman that you scored, you know? It could have been way worse. So you have received benefits, but you do not know Yahweh Shemishai. Alright? And even when it is that the Lord is telling you by way of his prophets these same exact things, you still reject Yahweh Shemishai. So the Lord is going to reject you and destroy you. And yet, and they that have loathed my law, while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, literally happening right now, understood not but despised it, right? Understood not but despised it. They despised this truth. And they scoff and they scorn, and they're actually going to be turning into, you know, enemies in the way of they're going to sell us out to the enemy. So they're going to be working hand in hand with the enemy, Esau, Edom, to sell out their own people, which many of them already are selling out their own people. The leaders of these various countries out here in Jamaica and these other countries that are dominated by way of the Israelites, you know what I'm saying? And then they have Israelite leaders set up. You know, they're all taking orders from Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and they're selling out and destroying their own people, right? And they're going to sell out their own people in the most ultimate way, by way of that microchip, which they're already doing, because they're literally working hand in hand with Esau Edom, the so-called white man, with developing his system and taking part in his new world order by implementing these digital identification systems and these digital payment systems, which are these central bank digital currencies and these stable coins. All right, they're implementing these digital public infrastructures as well to all accommodate Esau's new world order. They work hand in hand with it. And then they're going to launch the microchip as well in these various places. So our people, man, are extremely wicked and working with the devil as well. So the situation is really bad. It says, and they that had loathed my law while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not but despised it, the same must know it after death by pain. The same must know it after death by pain. So this is a judgment, man, for rejecting Yahweh Shemishai. So going back to 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 10, it says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, right? The ways, which is ultimately the ways of this life, which is what you people follow. You Israelites, this is what you follow, the ways of this life, which is all for naught, because it's not an everlasting way of living. It's all coming to an end soon. The Lord going to destroy this place soon. And you're going to see how quickly it happens as well. Because these prophecies are built up to a certain point right now, that once the dominoes start to fall, it's just going to be dropping. Y'all know what it looks like, man, when they start falling, the chain reaction. They're going to be popping, man, like popcorn. Alright? So you're going to see how quickly all of the hell starts to fall upon this earth in the most major way. So it says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? And the answer is clear. You should be one that is turned to Yahweh Shemishai, hoping to be saved, repenting, you know. And the path isn't just like a one-time thing. It is continuous. Because we're still in this flesh, which is the chains of darkness, so you are going to go off. It's impossible not to. And anyone that is saying that they don't go off or they're following the laws perfectly, that person is a liar, man. It's impossible. You just can't. Alright? So, you're going to go off, but you must understand mercy, and you must understand that a righteous man falleth 7 times. You know, we shall all fall continuously, and 7 isn't just 7. 7 is the number of completion, so it's talking about a multitude of times, man. You will constantly fall, you constantly make mistakes, but it is that repentance, that faith in Yahweh Shemishai, right? That is most important, okay? So it says, looking for and hastening on to the coming of the day of Yahweh Shemishai, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, right? Because thermonuclear destruction is coming, right? Death by way of thermonuclear fire. Okay, now that is going to be hitting America, right? So those in America are going to be destroyed, all right? And it's going to be, and we know the number of them. Yappa. The time is 11:44. Y'all know what it is, man, that 144. Right. We know the number of our people that are going to be saved and are going to be destroyed in America. Zechariah chapter 13 and verse 8 says, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the 3rd shall be left therein. So 2/3 of our people are going to be destroyed in America. They're going to be taking part in the thermonuclear destruction, and 1/3 of our people are going to be saved. All right, and those will be of the elect of the nation of Israel, and would have rejected the mark of the beast, would have rejected Esau, would have rejected this life and everything about it, and would turn and repent to Yahweh Shemishai. Those are them that will be saved, right? And then it says, and I will bring the 3rd part, which is the elect, through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried, and they shall call upon my name, and I will hear them, and I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord Yahweh is my power, right? So the elect are going to be tried. Our faith is going to be tried. We're going to be put in situations where our faith is going to be tried. It's going to be tried in the major way as well during the hour of temptation, written about in Revelation chapter 3 verse 10, which is when you will be faced with taking the mark chip. That will be the test of your one of the tests of your faith. All right, that's going to be one of the ultimate trials, man. Will you take the mark chip or not? Because all kinds of things are going to be happening. There's going to be chaos, there's going to be famine, there's going to be pestilence, there's going to be martial law, there's going to be chaos out in the streets. 2 Ezra chapter 15, 2 Ezra chapter 17, Salakia, 2 Ezra chapter 15, 2 Ezra chapter 16. All right, all these things, man. And then we're actually heading into 2 Ezra chapter 13, the beginning of that chapter, with the return of our Lord Yahushai on that great mountain. All right, so many things are at hand, man. Okay, going back to 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 11, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of Yahweh Shemishai, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. Right. So nevertheless, we that believe, those of the hopeful elect, according to his promise, look for the new heavens, which is the kingdom, and a new earth, you know, the kingdom being established here on earth, right? And then the rulership of the Israelites, you know, being set upon the entire earth, man, which is just going to be a righteous rulership, and a new earth wherein, nevertheless, according to his promise, look for a new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. Right. So this is all what is at hand, man. Okay. And then it says in Romans, and this is going to be my last precept, Romans chapter 13 and verse 11, and that knowing the time, and what's the time? Measure the time diligently. Yahushua also said, right, he said, when the disciples went to him privately asking, Lord, what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world, which is talking about the end of the rulership of the Edomites, Yahushua said, we shall see these things: earthquakes in diverse places, famines, pestilences, nation rising against kingdom, nation, kingdom against kingdom. All right. So we'll see certain signs, rumors of wars. He also said that these are the beginning of sorrows. All right. So we're seeing all of the signs at hand that speak to the end of Esau's kingdom. It's all happening right now. Okay. So knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out to sleep, because this thing is coming to an end. And knowing that this thing is coming to an end, that the lifestyle of this world and the way of this world is all going to be burnt up, everything's going to be changed. Why would you then want to continue to be a part of this system and this society, right? The reason why is because you people enjoy fulfilling the lust of the flesh, and that's what you refuse to give up, man. Okay? But that flesh and the lust thereof is going to lead you to your death and destruction. It is high time now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. Right? I was watching the Elder Apostle Tahar's video, and I have to take in the other one, but he did another video and he said that he's seen 2026 as a very hot year, and he also mentioned 2030, because you know Esau has put out there regarding their New World Order that 2030 they want to launch their Vision 2030 and all these kinds of things. But the situation is that the devil don't tell you what the devil's going to do. All right? That's not how he operates. He's not going to tell you what he's doing. So he most likely has plans to launch his system even before that. And literally observing the systems being put in place and everything. Let's take a look. The microchip, which is the mark of the beast, the prophecy says in the hand and the forehead. That technology is out there for both. It's up and running, it's successful. The technology is ready to go. Then there's a system that is being implemented to allow it to work on a mandatory and global scale. So they're implementing the system, the digital public infrastructure, changing everything to a digital system, and implementing a digital ID system, which is a stepping stone towards the microchip of consolidating your information into one place. And then they're transforming everything digitally, which includes the current monetary system to a digital payment system, right? And they're developing the central bank digital currencies around the world. So it's all being built up, right? So it's only a matter of time before things are at a certain point where they're like, okay, set it about. And then going back to their motto, order ab chaos, order out of chaos. So they're going to be bringing chaos to the world. And Revelation chapter 6 verse 8 talks about the pale horse, right? That is going to be bringing famine and death and hell, right? This is what we're fastly approaching. So now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. Things are going to pop off very soon, man. Because this too, as it is written, shall come to pass, that our salvation is nearer than when we believed. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envying, but put ye on the Lord Yahushua, and make not provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof. So, the kingdom of heaven is at hand, man. Repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Great judgment and destruction is coming, but also great mercy is at hand. Alright? And try to dwell the best that you can in the spirit. Okay? And try your best to not fulfill the lusts of the flesh. Try your best. Make an effort. So with that, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemishai B'Shemikal Kodesh. And once again, double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstones. And shalom to the brothers doing this work around the four corners of the earth in truth and sincerity. And shalom unto the elect of the nation of Israel, man. The men, women, and children that believe. Shalom.